Woo! That dog almost took my head off.
What's
good?
goody? How you been?
Good. This month was kind of just me, like, chilling at the crib.
Nice.
And, like, working from the crib. Just, like, if I'm not working, then I'm just spending a lot of time in the crib. That's it. What about you?
I just moved here, so, you know, I've just been at the crib, really. The whole pandemic shit. I did just come back from Mexico, though, which was tight.
Oh, yeah.
But I haven't seen my family in Miami for like almost a year and a half now, so
Yeah.
gonna go see them. I think actually my closest thing to family is like Gigi and Jay out here.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah.
You're definitely considered one of my parents' kids
I
at
know.
this point.
I love them. Dude, your album, Valencia. How does it feel that it's fucking out? It's just available. People have it. People are listening. You made it.
I know, it's weird. It's like last thing I did was I don't know where, 2019. I just felt like I wasn't able to drop anything for a while. You know, felt like a lot of people like advising me what to do, and it's always nice to like get that advice from whether it be like management or homies or whoever. But sometimes I just felt like I just want to drop a song like tonight, because I used to be like that, you know?
Back in the day?
Yeah, and I feel like that's what made, I feel like that's kind of what is the reason I'm like where I'm at in music and stuff, is because of the spirit of like being able to like drop or do whatever I want, like whenever I want, you know? But and then we ended up doing all in 1 week.
Yes.
1 music video, an 8-minute short film,
3 performance videos. How
did that feel for you, like being the one to kind of direct and facilitate that whole thing?
I felt like really responsible for like half of the album in a way.
Yeah.
The way it looked, you know, you were pretty much in charge of how it sounded.
Yeah.
Not that you weren't involved in the process of how it looked, but I feel like that was the first time that we were given like money to like make whatever we saw in our head like come to life. And you entrusted me with that budget, you know.
I feel like it's so weird dropping an album without having touring attached to it, because usually I feel like I've felt such a difference in momentum when there is touring attached to a release. Versus like releasing this and we're still, you know, supposed to be at home and like, you know, staying away from the virus. I also feel like that affected the way we rolled everything out.
True. Yeah, like
we were solely relying on the short film, the visuals, the artwork, the photo shoots, whatever it is that comes around it.
How do you think it differentiates from the experience of I don't know where? Because that project came out and the world was open, then we like, boom, we went on tour.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, people are more someone to like remind you or tell you how your work has affected them, or you know, say for example someone comes up to me at a show or like a festival or even just like a party or something, and they're like, yo, thank you for your music, I listen to your music.
Yeah.
You know, and there's less opportunity for that when you're not on tour, so you don't really know, you're not really able to gauge as much like who's listening, or if anyone is listening.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it kind of feels like no one's listening, you know? Well, I mean, you know, I know that's not true, but
yeah,
it feels more so like no one's listening when there's not like,
yeah, we
like
need
tour
that like
or
physical
shows or like physical events like happening around like a release.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
On Valencia, there's 10 songs. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many songs did you like make before you like cut it down to those 10? And like what was like the first one that you were like, this is on the album?
ETA.
ETA. Oh, you made ETA when we went to London.
Yeah, I made ETA after the Europe tour, and then we ended the Europe tour with a headlining London show.
Yes.
And then came back to the crib. And you came back to Cali with me, and then we linked with Matt, and
yes. In LA.
we made ETA in front of you.
You did make that shit in front of me.
Yeah.
I remember. I was like laid out on the bed. I was super tired.
I think Stevie was there too.
Stevie was there?
Stevie there? Or maybe it was Simon. But yeah, either way it was you, Simon, or Stevie, and then Matt. I went to get a haircut, and then Matt finished his verse when I got back.
I remember just watching Matt just like lay his verse on that. I didn't think anything of that session. Not that the song wasn't good, but what the heck? It's supposed in the wrong lane.
Guy's tripping. This neighborhood is weird.
Altadena.
Weird.
So the project Valencia has a lot of orange being utilized as like the main color palette. Well, what does the color orange like mean to you, and why did its significance like become the motif of the project?
It's definitely inspired by Florida. And I always tell this story. When I was a kid, yellow was my favorite color. I think that was my dad's favorite color, so I looked up to my dad. I was like, you know, it's my favorite color too. I got older, and like red became my favorite color for some reason.
That's my favorite color.
That's your favorite color. And just a lot of my themes in my room are like yellow and red in Florida. And then I moved to Cali, and this is like such a deep story for like someone's favorite color, but when I moved to Cali, I kind of discovered like a year into living in Cali that orange is my favorite color. Like, you know, when you get like yellow and red, like it makes orange. But I had this crazy like brownie trip. I like, you know, at the time I didn't smoke it out. Yeah, weed brownie. At the time I didn't smoke at all. Like I hadn't smoked in like a year and a half, maybe a year.
It's always like that.
It's always like that.
When you don't smoke and then you get back into it, it fucks you up.
I had a brownie, and I never really ate edibles like that. It's just like, it was just pretty strong. And I just went straight into like a psychedelic trip. And like, we had like this orange sculpture. We had like themes of orange throughout the crib.
Yeah.
And
they were like sticking out to you.
They were just sticking out to me during like this like
talking to you
psychedelic experience. Yeah, talking to me. Like I started listening to music, and like the color like orange just started like popping out on me, and it was like, long story short, it tripped me out, fucked me up. I was like trying to walk to the sink. I could barely like lift my head. Like like turned the sink on, like dunked my head in water, try to like grasp reality. I was like punching the couch to like feel something. Everyone's like, yo, just relax. I don't remember that much what happened, but the next morning I was like, I started like writing every day, writing in a journal.
Really?
Yeah, started writing in a journal, started reading books, like just, started reading all these books. I picked up like Cosmos by Carl Sagan, and then Kafka by the Shore by Murakami. I started reading those books, and Door's Perception by Aldous Huxley. Those 3 books I picked up, started reading those, started writing. And then I just had this weird epiphany that orange is like, oh, it's my new favorite color. I looked it up. It's the aura of creativity, and it's like, and my own like take on it was like, it's not as bright and happy and like sunny as like yellow, and it's not as like crimson and kind of like dominant as red, but it's in a cool middle. There's a nice little middle ground to the color orange, and so that was just like my color from there on out. And throughout themes of my Since Current Mood, the first project I ever made, that had themes of orange all over it. Throughout my entire career, there's always hints of orange, but Valencia was like, Valencia references the color orange. Valencia references, the Valencia oranges. And also, there's a lot of like places, like gated communities, and even just areas in Florida called Valencia. So it's really an ode to my upbringing in Florida and the South. And
with that house in Burbank, you also lived on Valencia Street.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I lived in a place called Valencia, and then when I finished the record, the album, I was living on Valencia Avenue or Valencia Street, whatever.
Yeah.
And here in Cali. And yeah, and it was kind of like full circle, So.
Any artist, when they're like working on a body of work, it has its ups and its downs, and I feel like people like to talk about the ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell me about some of the downs, or maybe like how you, I don't know, got over those speed bumps, whether if they were like moments of discouragement or moments of unsureness?
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
For me, this lady is also crazy.
Another mouth open.
These fools live in Cali. How are they surprised? Anyway, yeah, I think there was a lot of moments of discouragement because, kind of like what I mentioned earlier, you kind of want to be able to control how it goes, how it pans out for you, as much as you can, as an artist who's proud of what they make.
I relate to that.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time I had a huge team, working on different departments of everything. So when you're an artist, I guess I can speak specific for music, being a musician for myself. You go into it thinking you're just gonna make music, and that's just gonna be you're just gonna make music every day. You're just gonna be an artist, but you get shot into being a CEO of a company, and then you get shot into being an accountant. You get shot into being your own manager sometimes.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of moving pieces that is outside of the music, outside of what the audience that is listening to the music sees.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that a lot of it was a mix of trying to find the middle ground of taking the advice of the team and then trying to find and doing my thing. A lot of it, a mix was not being able to do it the way I want and doing it the way I feel like someone else wants for me, and they think that's best. And I'm trying to be okay, is this what's best? Because, someone that's looking from the outside in might know better. So it was weird, and I allowed a lot of heads into this project, and that was like, I don't want to say ego death, but in a sense it was like a challenge of my ego and a challenge of my pride, and like, you know, and so, you know, even just letting you do your thing, like directing and just being the talent, like solely, and just, you know, listening to my headphones and going for a run while you guys are like setting up shots, and like, you know, just doing all the hands-on stuff that I kind of like envisioned myself doing, like when we finally had red cameras and just did shit on a big scale. This was the one time where I wasn't doing that, and so I was like, I had to tell myself like, yo, this is actually for the best. This is like for the best. Did you ever feel like there was challenges on your end? Like, did you ever feel uninspired? Because I remember there was a lot of moments where it felt like we were just getting worked into producing stuff, you know, and when I say that, it felt like it was like falling on you a lot.
Yeah, and like we would be in meetings.
Yeah, and I think the goal was for us to hire people to kind of do what you were doing for a long time for me. Yeah. And you're kind of just truly the creative director.
It was really a learning process, man. Yeah. Like, that was the first time I was given like this much money to like figure something out. And in my head, I'm like, with this money, like, I can fuel myself to do it all, but that's not like how shit gets done, you know? Yeah. And if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. Yeah. I felt like with that money, initially, I was like, oh, hell yeah, we got fucking bread, let's go fast. Let's like pump this out, let's put the gas in the tank and go. But over time, I realized that I needed to like bring on creatives that I love as well, and then trust them to do their thing. Yeah. You know, the way that you trusted me, I had to trust them. Yeah. So, you know, I had to bring on homies like Faisal or Cam or Mitchell to like, you know, hold the camera and like trust these guys. And AJ, there's so many people that were involved.
Gio,
dude, Gio in the end, like
Sebastian.
Yeah, like if you asked if I felt any type of pressure or fatigue, like I did, and there were moments where I felt like I was running a marathon and I was tired, and I remember there was even points when you would be asking me shit and I would just be like, dude, I'm tapped. I'm tapped. And
anything you would have done differently? Like if we went back and we were doing this again, like Valencia didn't come out, but we knew what we knew now. What would you have done differently?
Well, you know, that was my first merry-go-round. This time, I would play more of a producer role. You know, I was trying to play like a creative director role. The creative director isn't really in charge of the money in a situation like that. Yeah. The producer is. And I would have hired a creative director, a graphic designer, a photographer, etc. from the jump, and like kind of been more of like a team leader, morale booster. Yeah. You know, like, guys, like, this is the vision. I entrust you with this portion, you with this portion, you with this portion. Yeah. Because I felt like...
Because in the end, you ended up making all the content. You made the album cover.
Yeah.
You know, you made the
those were like little moments where I actually like got inspired by the people I had brought on by that time. Yeah. You know, they'd given me room to breathe and to become rejuvenated to do these things, like, you know, like come up with the Yeek text at the very end, or make those visuals at the drive-through. And I feel like the way I played this first run around was like a Final Fantasy game or an adventure game where you start off as one guy and you're like going around picking up people, and the game gets easier as you get to the end.
You kind of have your
if I could start over, I would have, you know, had the whole gang. I would have had everyone already like plugged in. But I'm proud of like those mistakes I made and like those lessons I learned, because Yeah, dude, we're really just like a product of our experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, album cover.
The album cover. Tell me about it, dude. It was like a process. It was definitely like one of the last things we did.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish we had done it sooner, because as soon as we got it locked in, so much of the branding rolled in, but I feel like it was divine timing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't have gotten the album cover we got just off top. It was like a full story. It was a full circle, you know? Tell me about the cover, man, like your portion of it. And you know, for the most part, it's a photo of you falling off a building, which is, as some people might not know, the building that we shot all this shit in. But
yeah,
there's like a special part to it.
The album cover is in the video, the short film, and the live performances. That photo of me falling, which you had cropped, and like we kind of made like this like astral body out of it. That photo was taken by, you know this, but you know, but by a sister that I found out I didn't have like exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
Like this time last year, honestly.
Yeah.
And my mom sat me and Simon down. We were literally moving out of the Valencia crib.
Crazy. That's when you've heard about it, at the Valencia crib.
Like literally the last days of that crib. The last days of that crib.
Full circle.
Full circle. Sits us down, tells us a story we already know about our eldest brother, aka half brother, but he's really just a full brother to us in our mind. Paulo, Kuya. And Kuya means big brother in Tagalog. It's a Filipino language, and he's the only one we call Kuya, like the eldest one. But she was just telling us a story about, we already knew, you know. He was our half brother, this and that. But then she was like, 2 years later, she told us like a different version of the story we knew.
Yeah, you'd never
she was
heard.
Like, yeah. And so she was like, 2 years later, I had a daughter. Like she's told it that way.
Yeah.
And that's what fucked me up. And me and Simon are like we're just like,
yeah.
And me and this fool go like into a full psychosis. Like,
yeah.
Just like yo,
what?
I can't even believe this shit is happening.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we have a sister. Like, what? Like,
yeah.
She like, my mom already knows about her gram. Like she's like, this is her Instagram. This is her like hair salon page. She follows you on the hair salon page, but she doesn't follow you on the main one. Da 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 da. And they didn't even talk yet, nothing. But my sister found her off 23andMe that her husband, my brother-in-law, got her as a gift for Mother's Day during quarantine. And so, long story short, we met them in November, Thanksgiving, which is like around her birthday, celebrating her birthday and Thanksgiving. I filmed on your Super 8 that I asked you to borrow so I can film the moment that my mom and my sister met.
Yeah.
I filmed
That's a beautiful moment, dude. I remember when I got, since it was like my Super 8 and I turned in the film, they sent it to me and I saw it before you did.
Yeah.
And like, there's no sound on a Super 8. And when I saw your family like coming together, dude, I fucking cried. It was like an undeniable moment of like something that was always meant to be, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so that day that you saw on the film was the day, all this to say that was the day that my sister took the photo of me falling. It was my first time doing a backflip on a trampoline. She had a trampoline. I just tried it.
She had a trampoline at her crib.
Yeah. And she took a photo of me like midair, and I sent you the scan of it like a few days later, and we were both just like, yo, this is the album cover.
Yeah, I remember you sent it to me. I was like, your sister took this?
And it comes full circle because Lumbago starts off the album
with family.
And that song is about community and family and my family. And little did I know when I wrote that song that I had a whole ass sister, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and so, you know.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's dedicated to my sister, really. Dedicated to my family. But it's wild. It's like, what the fuck?
Yo, remember? Oh, I'm actually like getting weird goosebumps. When we first started talking about what Valencia meant, we were like, it means home.
It means home. That's really what it means. It means home.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And like that last part, the last portion, the missing piece to the puzzle, which was the album cover.
Yeah,
was
we
really
were
like
so
your
lost.
sister.
Everything was done.
Yeah.
Everything was done.
Mm-hmm.
All we needed was the album cover.
Yeah.
And then accidentally, we filmed the Lumbago music video and made the album cover off the meeting of, like, you know, meeting my sister.
Yeah.
It's like so full circle. Like
so full circle.
We were so protected.
Divine timing.
Like divine timing. That was, this entire thing is like the most, now that I really think about it,
not
instead
to look back on it.
Yeah, instead of thinking about what it's lacking and all that, you know, like I do that as my worst critic as an artist. Mm-hmm. But, you know, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, it's wow, this was like a beautiful project.
Yeah.
So we had this convo, like at the end, the very end of we kind of wrapped everything up. Everything was ready to go. Mm-hmm. You made the album cover, back cover, vinyl spread, merch was done. I think it was like days before the drive-in movie premiere. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of talking about our friendship and our work relationship, and I kind of expressed to you, like, dude, like, it kind of feels like lately we're not even like homies anymore. It just feels like we're just working. Yeah. We're just like straight working. And I was like, I feel like a lot of that is, you know, not putting the blame on anything, but, you know, it was a product of just always having to work on something. There was always something that came up.
Yeah.
And it just felt like we were getting so busy, like we were on a large scale, we had money, we had a budget. And even just everything that we've worked on in the past, it just felt like what made us become so close is just being homies, and then it was just natural for us to work. But then I felt like the work took over, and so we kind of came up with this conclusion to kind of like not part ways, but just be like, you know, let's get back to being homies. Let's if I do another EP or a project, you know, maybe I could just hire a graphic designer to do it. Also going back to what you were saying, like just being a producer and you know, like being a producer of it, and
just being the leader of the party, just
being the boss, and you know, kind of like what we always dreamed of, just being the bosses of our own thing. And how do you see yourself moving, I guess, all that to ask, like, how do you see yourself moving forward with your own stuff, and even just with our stuff?
I don't know, I started as a fan of Yeek before I got to know you as a homie, and I feel like now I can do both. I can be a fan, and I could be a homie, and I think I really want to get back to like being a supportive role rather than an assistive role.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that if you ever need anything, I'm gonna always be right there to any extension of myself that you need. But I know you also want for me to like do my thing, and like I feel like that's all I can ask for as a friend.
Yeah.
And I don't really see it as a parting. I see it as like a rebirth. It's not an ender to me. It's like those movies you watch forward, you get to the end and you realize you gotta watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you, dog. Forever.
Man, shit. All right, my boy. What are you doing later? Skate?
Skate.
Skate.
Peace.
Peace.